Good morning, retail traders. Today I want to talk about the Bullish Harami candlestick pattern and what I'm seeing in the indices with that indicator. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about the indices. I like to do a little review on these every week, and we're going to pull them up right now. What I think I've identified here is a Bullish Harami candle with just a little bit of bearishness in it. We've had a pretty good sell-off in the last 3 weeks, and I've got the weekly time frames up here. Each one of these candles is a crow, and we've had 3 crows on each indice, from the IWM, the QQQ, the SPY, and the SPX. And then come in Friday, we had green harmonies on the QQQ, the SPX, and the SPY. And we also bounced off the 50 SMA on the IWM here on the weekly time frame. So I think that's enough to hold us at support, and maybe have a small little green rally this week for a couple of days, and then see what happens from there. But this is always an indicator to me that we have found maybe a reversal for a small little gain to the upside. So let's go ahead and look at this next step here. Sneaky snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Please hit that like and subscribe. Every video is a learning lesson. Let me see here. Whoop. So this is a Harami candlestick pattern, and in this case I spotted 3 crows with the next candle with the opposite color, which is a Bullish Harami, which could see some consolidation to the right, and then maybe a breakout to the top of that 3rd crow again, or maybe each crow would be a resistance level. The Bullish Harami is a candlestick chart indicator used in spotting reversals in a bear trend. It is generally indicated by a small increase of price, significantly with a white candle, and don't worry about the color. It can be contained within the given equality downward price movement. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in there so you can read that in the bottom of the content. Then we're going to go ahead and talk about the charts. IWM is the first one on the list. I got banks on watch this week. They've had a pretty good sell-off. So is this right here. Now, this is the 4-hour. We're going to go to the weekly time frame. And we've got a triple 1, 2, 3 right here, where we hit resistance, and we pulled back and we hit this here moving average. Now, like I said, I trade off moving averages as support levels. And this is the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA on the weekly time frame. Now, we did have the 3 black crows, and we bounced twice off that 50 SMA. So we're going to pull this up to the yearly. The yearly, we're bouncing off the 300 SMA twice, and then we've created a real long leg doji here, and I really think this is going to be bullish. If we can break this moving average right here, which is the 200 EMA, I think we can definitely run up, break the 9, and get it back up here to this next one, which is the 65 SMA. That price level is right at 187, so that's about a $5 gain. So let's go over this one more time. We definitely need to hold the 200 SMA this week, and that's on the daily time frame. And if we can hold that 200, we'll come up here and break this here moving average. That moving average is the 200 EMA. If we start building support and squeeze out of the 200 EMA and the 9, we'll squeeze up to the 65 and have an exit idea right before we hit the 51 EMA. So that more or less is tell you what we got to do. The hard resistance this week to break will be 185.79. The solid support to hold will be 183.22. If we can hold that, then we're going to be going sideways and try to break up to the upside and run into that 65. That's the IWM. The QQQ. Pull up the weekly time frame. We got that bullish Harami. We had the 3 black crows. So this thing, all it's got to do is break the 9. If we break the 9 on the weekly, and that number right now is 365.26. If we can break 365.26, we can go higher. If not, I think we can pull back and definitely find some solid support off this 21 right at 351. No lower than that. 351.50. This week we got to hold support at 357.94. Break resistance of 365.26 and run it back up here to 370. That's going to be the QQQ. We're going to pull this up on the yearly, daily, and definitely like to see this hold that 65 right here at 360, but our solid support will be at 357.94. Resistance to break again is going to be the 21. SMA on the daily. The next one's going to be the SPY. I'm bullish, and we're going to go sideways this week. SPY, same thing. We got a bullish Harami right here, long leg doji on the daily, and also on the weekly. The weekly, we got 3 black crows. Now what I like about this is if you draw a trend line from right here to here, extend that to the right, and that's going to be your solid support also. So we've got a couple confirmations. The third confirmation is going to be this here top that we had right here on SPY. Right at 431.86. So we got many of confirmations that this will hold. We got that trend line right here that held the support real well off the wicks. We've got the 21 SMA, and we've also got the support that I called back here at 431.86 to hold. So those need to hold, and resistance this week to break is going to be the, here on the weekly, is going to be 441.36, and bring it up to hard resistance to break this week, which I think is going to be right around the 444.68 area. And if that breaks, we'll definitely shoot it up a little bit higher. But support, we've got to hold that 21. If we do not hold that 21 on the weekly, we'll definitely have some bearish trends, and we can pull that stock back a little bit farther. But the major support level is definitely going to be this trend line between that and 431.06, with resistance to break this week at 44468. And if that breaks, we'll run it up to almost 449. The last one that I like to talk about is the SPX. We've had the same call on this one here too, and we found support off of it. We called the bottom up here at the 200 SMA along with the SPY, and we also called resistance right up here at the shoulder line of this head and shoulders, which is right there. We also called this support level right off this here wick right here. The pullback to the T to the 21 SMA. So we got the same scenario here. We've had the 3 black crows, which we are now going to start looking for a small consolidation period three black crows is the snake. We'll have consolidation and we'll have confirmation with all four of these indices this week. So hopefully we can go ahead and break out of this bullish Harami candlestick pattern. And that's what this is. We got three black crows. We've got it bouncing off the 21 SMA, and we also have a double bottom here at the tweezer, which I think we can hold support. Now I'm going to run this trend line also on this one here just to see if it brings it to what we need to see. If not, fine. Hang that out to the right. So that definitely matches up with support. So now we have three different confirmations that that's solid. And when you get three confirmations in my strategy, that's a go ticket. 5 is a no-brainer. So let's try to break the 9 this week. 9 resistance on the SPX will be 442376. 442376. Somewhere around there. Right there, perfect. And if that breaks, we'll come up here to this triple top tweezer right here and try to break 4452.40. So support to hold is going to be no lower than that 432997. Now I'm only using the weekly time frame in candlesticks when I'm judging the weekly swing. So the solid support has to hold at 437494, which is the bottom of these candlesticks. If not, we're going to see a solid support at 4329.97, give or take a few cents, but just watch. We'll come close. We got to break the 9 on the weekly to become bullish and respect to move it up. I think we're just going to go sideways and then maybe have another pullback, one more good pullback before Christmas, and then that's when you want to load the boat into next year. So this is the 3 or 4 that I'm talking about, and also want to bring up a few others just on the top of my head, Tesla being one of them. I was tickled last week reading headlines, they just cannot leave this man alone, kind of like they cannot leave Trump alone. Elon Musk is one of the best innovators. He's my Einstein in this century right now, in my lifespan. And it just pisses me off how the government treats this man. They should put him up on a red carpet and give him the utmost respect and give him almost anything he wants. And I think if it was Trump, this country would be in a lot better shape right now. But that's that. Yes, I like to talk about it because I've been around for 20 years and watched this market and how it reacts to presidents. So, Tesla. Goldman Sachs comes out with an article last week and says, I wouldn't be investing in Tesla because it's so mixed up with China. You might want to trade QCOM instead. I'm just, what the heck, man? Picking on my baby. So Tesla all week found support right down here off this 229 area. And there's some nice little trades off that 229. We had a snake right here with a 1, 2, 3 boom wedge pattern, kind of a descending triangle. This is a trade that I talk about a lot in the room, and to my people that want to listen, I call out a lot of snakes. And I got this 1, 2, 3 formula. And if it don't take off on the third time, then you might as well get out and bail out of the call. But here we've got the snake break out, pull back to a double bottom, created a 1, 2, 3 and didn't break. So you don't take the trade yet. This is a descending pattern. I talk about this a lot in the room, and if you really want to be a capitalist, a good trader, just remember this one step, and you'll get every trade that you can. It'll tell you when to take the trade and when not to. And that's the sneaky snake trading strategy, where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. So being in the now, I know this idiot bad-mouthing Tesla, which they don't. And then the DOJ comes out, accuses them, gives them harassment for not hiring illegal immigrants. See, with the administration now, it's all about race, color, and gender. It's not about character and qualifications or legalization. So they're harassing him about that too, and I'm just laughing at this. So I figured that was a good catalyst to take this trade. So we had this little snake right here, and I draw these snakes out when I'm talking about them. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just been following the government and how they beat up on Elon and Tesla all the time. So we got the snake, and it broke out of the pattern, and this is what I tell the room. I said, me, I can go ahead and scalp this and get out of it real fast, and because I know where the exit ideas are. But if you're a beginner, I always say, snake, break out, pull back, and wait for the pattern to show up. Wait for the pattern. You could sit here on this thing all day long, but wait for that pattern to show up. So we've got the snake, we've got the descending triangle, and we've got the 1, 2, 3 failure. And then we've got the 1, 2, 3 bingo. So when this king comes back up and bounces the third time on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, this is what I call a triple bottom. This didn't hit the bottom right there, but this one did. Now, if this would have went ahead and took off with this, I would have called this a double bottom high or low. And that would have took off right there and shot on up, but it did not. It came back down and made a triple bottom. Whoop, that ain't 3. Did y'all catch that? So once it came out of here and broke out, hit the third bottom down here, and then she went ahead and broke out and run on up and broke resistance right at open and get out of the trade. And then this is the best thing about this trade. Okay, so you watch this break out, and you notice that you've got the snake and you've got the descending triangle. It broke out first thing this morning. You're too nervous to jump in it, but all of a sudden it pulled back. What was resistance now becomes support. It always retests, always. 98% of the time you're going to get a pullback, and it's going to retest the old resistance. That old resistance will now become support. So I'm sitting in this trade and I'm calling this out Friday. I said we hit the 1, 2, 3 first thing this morning. We're going to pop out and have a nice little breakout. If you can scalp it real fast, do it. But the sucker's going to pull back. They always do. She pulls back, hits that support, take the trade, run it up, break the double top, and get out of the trade by the end of the day. So that's a double top exit. Right here to right here, and you get out of the trade. And that's the sneaky snake trading strategy. You can do the same thing come Monday. Wait for that knife, wait for that pattern. Once it builds that pattern, 1, 2, 3, boom, get out of the trade. So let's see what this thing's going to do this week. We're going to clean this up. Every video is a lesson, so please subscribe, ring that bell. There's a delay on my live YouTube channel. You can always join the room and watch in real time. I don't charge. I just ask people to help chip in on the scanner. If that's the only thing that's keeping me here. Is if I can get that scanner paid for, I'll stick around and trade. If I can't get that scanner paid for, I'm going to go find something else to do. Probably, because I'm sitting here and I could be making 5x of what I do right now, but I don't. I'd rather just share my idea. So all I ask by the end of the month is have that scanner paid for and a free meal. And that occupies my time for 8 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week. That's not asking much. So, here's Tesla On the weekly, we called this 110 area back in here, and we ran it all the way up to 300 bucks. That was a good trade. Then we pulled back. Now we've pulled back pretty good. We've had 3 black crows. Right now we're supporting the 65 EMA and the 21, and I think that 50 could be a solid support if we do pull back to 204 bucks, or maybe 200. Somewhere in here would be a tight squeeze. The 9 right now is going to be resistance as you look at the weekly time frame with Tesla. So that 9, if we break the 9, we'll definitely run up to higher levels. Find some resistance right there at 261.50. And the solid resistance to break is going to be that 242.63. And this week, if we can hold support right around that 229 area that I showed you, or this 224.50 area off the 65 and the 21 and the 51, they all kind of squeeze right there and apply a lot of pressure. That if that doesn't hold, I can consider it a real good solid support drop down here at the tweezer bottom at 215, and then that 50 SMA. But for right now, you're going to still get bad rhetoric out of Washington. China is not in the best shape at all, so it is going to have some kind of effect. But I think Elon has been moving around, to different locations with different factories, and it'll hurt sales in China if things don't change. So I'm bullish in the gut, and I'll take this trade any day on a knife or on a dip. Any day. That's how bullish I am on this stock. This is the number 1 in my book. This has got the most volume and everything. So that's it. I wish everybody a great day. I hope you picked up something with the sneaky snake trading strategy. Subscribe, ring that bell. Have a great day.